Western high fashion has a hobby. It loves to borrow from Indian craft, create pieces that cost a bomb, showcase them on the runway, but without the credit, the acknowledgement, or the backstory. A few days ago, Prada models trotted down the runway wearing kolhapuri chappals. And now there is a new controversy. Dior has featured a coat. It's about 1.7 crore rupees for a coat. This coat has been embroidered using the Mukaish technique. This is a traditional Indian embroidery method that goes back centuries. Dior allegedly deployed a dozen Indian artisans to make the coat, and yet no credit, just a hefty price tag. Here's a report.
At Milan Fashion Week, models strutted down the runway in Prada's open-toe leather sandals. And thousands of kilometers away in India, the show was met with shock and outrage. These Prada sandals screamed Kolhapuri chapel. The handcrafted leather slippers, with cultural roots in Maharashtra and Karnataka. Now, being sold for $1,200 a pair by the luxury brand. But unfortunately, this is not an isolated case. Amid the Prada Kohlapuri fiasco, we now have Dior joining the club. Recently, Jonathan Anderson was appointed the creative director of French luxury house Christian Dior. He made his debut a few days ago at Paris Fashion Week. The show was packed with A-listers, so naturally it went viral. But amid the buzz, one couture piece caught people's eye on social media. A stunning gold and ivory coat with an intricate pattern. You see that beautiful embroidery? That's no luxe French handiwork. That's Mukaish. Mukaish is a traditional metal embroidery technique from India, where tiny metal wires of silver and gold are twisted and embroidered into the fabric to create delicate patterns. This craft originated in Lucknow centuries ago, where it continues to be practiced by a few skilled craftsmen. But according to social media sleuths, Dior has snatched this craft from Lucknow's narrow streets and plopped it on the runway. Of course, without due credit, but with a hefty price tag. The coat cost $200,000, or about 1.7 crore rupees. And do you know what's worse? Reportedly, Dior deployed 12 Indian artisans who worked for more than a month to finish this coat. Yet no nod to India, no acknowledgement of the traditional craft, and no credit to the artisans. After all, this is not Dior's first rodeo. In 2018, a Delhi-based studio called People Tree accused the Dior of copying one of their block prints. Or look at this outfit. As the young would say, it is giving major sus vibes. Or should we say Shara vibes complete with a dupatta? Or shall we say Scandinavian scarf? But then again, Western luxury brands have a long history of quote-unquote borrowing from India. Like this so-called Indie turban by Gucci, priced at about $800. This accessory caused a major controversy in 2019. This is not just appropriation, but also cultural insensitivity towards Sikhism, where the turban holds sacred value. After all, cultural sentiments are rarely a concern when high fashion goes low. They can borrow and steal, but critics must beg for the credits, which is exactly what we are witnessing with Prada. After a massive backlash against their Kohlapuri fakes, Prada has finally accepted that the sandals were indeed inspired by Indian handicrafts. And amid this half-hearted credit throwaway parade, a public interest litigation has been filed against the brand in an Indian high court, demanding compensation and legal protection for artisans and their craft. But this is a clear example of luxury brands exploiting cultural heritage, sidelining the creators, erasing generations of stories and labor, and replacing them with hashtags without so much as a shout-out. Sari blouses quickly turn into Ibiza summer tops, kurtas are strappy dresses, and dupatta wearers are Scandi girls. This is not inspiration. It is not appreciation. It is appropriation.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktoren,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka karj mo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
4兆ドル以上も。
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.